hands down one of the best dishes we've done in a long time, Mexican fried rice. Let's see how we do it. I've been tasked a while back, or not tasked, sometimes, you know, we get a lot of requests, let's put it that way, make this. And somebody saw something online from Meat Church, and it's titled Mexican Chicken. An extremely easy recipe. So we're going to show you how to make the chicken. Let's do that right now. All right, we got some boneless, skinless chicken thighs. I'm just going to put them in a Ziploc baggie. It's about 8 o'clock, 8:30 at night. We're going to give it a good rest overnight to let it absorb as much flavor as possible. In the recipe that I saw, the Cholula was used as a basting sauce with a little butter. Well, since we're going to do it my way, I'm going to add the Cholula sauce to the marinade as well. Okay. This is the can they use. I'm using the whole can. Peppers and all. Woo! The whole thing.
I think I'm immediately coughing from the heat.
Oh my gosh. You know what? I'm throwing those carrots in there too. It's probably a little bit of flavor. And then I'm looking about a quarter, maybe actually more like a half a bottle. We'll see.
Half a bottle?
Yeah, it's flavor, honey. And I got the Chipotle kind. I just thought the Chipotle maybe would set the flavor off a little bit different, be a little bit thicker consistency, have a little smoky flavor to it. Remember, this is going to the fried rice, so I think the flavor has got to be deep inside of it. That's it.
You're on a roll.
Okay, Ziploc baggie. You could put it in one of those vacuum seal bags. I just think this is going to work fine. Move it around, get all the stuff incorporated, all that hot sauce with that jalapeno juice, and then tomorrow morning, about 10 o'clock. So I'll give it about 14 hours, something like that. The recipe said you can marinate it anywhere between 4 and 24 hours. With that being said, it said the longer you marinate, the more heat that the chicken will pick up. So I'd have picked about like half, like right in the middle. To make the rice, we're going to make a little bit of a Mexican rice blend here. I don't do this often, but you know, just one of the tricks that you pick up over the years. We did it in the Navy, just to add a little nutty flavor. We didn't do this in our our Wagyu fried rice sucks video. It's a little bit different, but if you haven't done this before, toasting your rice is extremely easy. It happens extremely fast, and all you're doing is incorporating another layer of flavor. It's almost like the idea of vegetables, beef, so on. When you get that, the color of your product turning, that's the same thing. Once this rice starts turning like light brown, it's like a nutty flavor, and I think the flavor helps go a long ways.
So this rice is not cooked?
No, honey. Our fancy dancy rice cooker here. Water. Salsa. This recipe and all the ingredients that we use today will be on the flattopking.com. All right, as you can see, it might be a little bit difficult, but we got a nice toast on that rice. Just like I said, helps with flavor. We're going to cook this. Once it's done cooking, we'll spread it on a cookie sheet just to cool it off so we can make it later on today. And just like that, our rice is done.
Golly, it smells so good.
Yeah. There are some of the ingredients I left out of this rice because I just knew that going into the fried rice idea with Mexican fried rice, we're going to be adding it later. So don't think this would be like the holy grail of Mexican style fried rice or Mexican rice and just in general. But the chicken bouillon is going to go a long ways. The sauce is just for a little bit of color, a little bit of flavor.
A lot of flavor. You can smell the flavor.
All right, let it cool off. We're gonna plastic wrap it, punch some holes in there, and leave it on the counter for several hours till we're ready to make our Mexican style fried rice. Now that you've seen those two, now you kind of see like the idea of what I'm going through. I really wanted to make my griddle edition. He asked me, can you do this but do it griddle edition? I'm like, you know, you're not going to be able to develop that much different of a flavor. I mean, charcoal is king, let's be honest, but you're still going to get those same reactions from a griddle and create a fantastic dish. So what I thought, how about we take this same recipe here and do something else with it that's griddle related, and that's how we got to this point. So, day of rice, not day old rice. We did this earlier this morning. This chicken's been marinating for about 14 to 15 hours. And these are our other ingredients. Fire roasted tomatoes that's been drained, black beans that's been rinsed and drained, yellow corn out of a can. You can use frozen. We have a white onion. We have some chopped up garlic, cilantro, green onion, butter, avocado for garnish. One of my better barbecue seasonings I like, with a little Southwest twist. Switch that up. It's a really good Southwest style rub. It's a little bit chunkier. It's not like your traditional taco seasoning. I really like it. We have a link that listed in the description below too. And here, the change up was I really wanted to use bell pepper. Our neighbor came over a couple of days ago and gave us fresh garden style poblanos with jalapenos. So we just switched the bell pepper up with poblanos and jalapenos, okay? We're gonna stick to the same tried and true method of fried rice. We got that video, Why Your Fried Rice Sucks. And so we're not gonna teach you much. We're just gonna make a fantastic dish. First things first, our griddle's heating up while it is. Most of my prep work's already done. I saved you that hassle. If by some reason you have the option, it's completely up to you. You decide to use these jalapenos. If you cook them whole or cook them in any shape, form, or fashion, you got to make sure that they come up to 165 internal temperature. That way it kills the bacteria just like it would for the chicken. There's no difference.
Since it was with the chicken.
Yeah, the raw chicken. We're going to coat these on both sides. At this point, I wouldn't be scared to over season your chicken because remember, we're going to dice it up. And this is going to hold a lot of flavor in the dish. All right, we got our griddle smoking. That means it's plenty hot enough for this chicken. A little avocado oil. And all we're doing now is cooking the temp. We're cooking about 160-ish. We'll start pulling it from there so it could rest, maybe 162 for that carryover. It's very, very, very important that your chicken rests. I've just been flipping the chicken back and forth. As you can see, there's so much moisture, probably because of the marinade. We're not getting that crust that I want, so don't panic. So what we're gonna do, now that it's been flipped a couple times, we're not at that internal temperature we need to yet. Use another part of the griddle. The griddle's hotter. It'll help us. A lot of the moisture's already escaped. That's helped us. So just a touch more oil. Crank the tip up a little bit. This was on low. And let's see if you can see the reaction different now. You hear that? That's what I'm looking for right there. See, that's the part of the griddle that is so hard to teach when we talk about griddle temperatures. You know, I get asked all the time what temperature you're cooking at. I still don't know. But what I do know is when I try to teach you, cleaning as you go and moving to a hotter spot on the griddle is more important than knowing what temperature your griddle's at. That's beautiful color. I think we lost some of the seasoning. I know my seasoning. Because all that moisture coming up, and when I scrape the griddle, that's something that I noticed. I wouldn't have guessed that. You know, I learned too, each cook. I'm not gonna go near as heavy, just a light dusting. Let some of those flavors just kind of marry into the chicken. Because this is gonna be kind of like, remember, this is what I'm hoping is, the catalyst for a lot of the flavors in the Mexican fried rice. I'm just pulling them as they come up to temp. This one's still lagging a little bit. Just keep that over there. I'll keep an eye on it. All right, our chicken's rested enough, at least. Kind of get one of these once-overs. I can see that.
That is good.
We were both worried about the heat factor, especially with the chipotle and the jalapeno juice. But honestly, the brine does something magical.
Super juicy.
Yeah.
It's that
good.
is good, easy Mexican chicken.
That's fantastic. That's good. All right, so we're gonna chop this up. I can see why it'd be good on a bun.
Quesadilla?
Little pepper jack cheese. This is why I thought that the flavor would carry through the chicken with the rice. Now, granted, we are gonna add more flavors, but
And by the way, that rice is fantastic.
yeah,
Cooking it in the salsa and the chicken bouillon, and that's the way to go.
you see all those pan juices of that chicken when it rested? Whatever you do, please don't throw that away. Don't get rid of it. Somehow find a way to incorporate it back into the dish. That right there is flavor to be had, and do not lose it. Do not lose it.
That is fantastic chicken.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you. If you're scared of the heat, I wouldn't. You get a lot of salt. It's not from the seasoning. The brine obviously does something to it, and we did hold it for a long time. On the website, on Meat Church's website, it did say that 4 to 24 hours, and the longer you brine it, the stronger it gets. So just remember that. But it's definitely worth your trial on this one.
And if I said it's not too spicy, it's definitely not too spicy.
But you made a good you made a good point. Street tacos, absolutely perfect for this.
Quesadillas.
Honestly, anything you want to do. Yeah, this is fantastic. This will be done again. Somehow, some way, for the family, we'll do this. So far, so good. All right. What I've learned in my fried rice, I love the addition of melting the garlic into the butter with the rice. I think it just explodes with flavor with rice, and that's what we're going to do. A little bit of oil. The whole griddle's on low. All those important steps that we taught you during that fried rice video, we're going to use them today. Crank it up just like a medium low.
Whipping out the measurement cups.
Half a cup onion.
To make you all a recipe on the website.
That one small poblano and one jalapeno. If you had a large poblano, honestly, you can add whatever you want to add. But look, it's almost like a 50-50 ratio. This is going to take the longest to cook. So let's get this spread out, get a char on it. Four cloves of minced garlic. These were not the largest cloves, so you can just imagine. If you look carefully, our garlic hasn't really started to turn brown yet. That's kind of like your telltale sign. The harder your griddle is, the faster your garlic will go. Adding that rice kind of cools down your griddle, so while the heat builds it back up on your griddle, we're just allowing that garlic to melt with that butter. And this is where I think the biggest key with fried rice is, regardless of what nationality you're making, whether it be Mexican, Asian, you know, playing around.
I smell it.
Yeah, that garlic and that butter just does something. And then right at that point where you start seeing brown bits, that's where you start incorporating. doesn't need to be cooked, so we're just going to warm it up. Half a cup. Half a cup. We're gonna add all that chicken, all that sauce. Then right at the very end, some cilantro, some green onion. Well, after the smoke settles and everything's done, it should look something like that. Now, from this point, it's really up to you. We really went back and forth of how we wanted to garnish this. Since the first time doing it, I just didn't know what to expect, so I didn't want to over garnish it. So this is basically just pure basics. Queso, your crema, you could do like a sour cream, cilantro, jalapeno style. You can do a lot of things from here, but we just want to start with the base. With that chicken, I think it surprised both of us how well it was.
It is super good. The whole dish is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic. You could make a little like sour cream drizzle for a little sauce.
I think the flavors are why I like Mexican food so much. Not many times you eat Mexican food and you think light and balanced. This has a deep flavor rooted in it. I think adding all those flavors to the rice, the garlic pops, starting the rice off right with a bouillon, a stock, a flavor. We didn't know crazy there because I knew that once it got on the griddle, we could up the flavor a little bit. I think the tomatoes add a little bit of moisture that it might have needed. The chicken surprised both of us. The chicken is phenomenal, and it does stand true that I thought the chicken would carry a lot of flavor in this dish. I'm glad we did it the way we did it. The chicken is absolutely phenomenal. The seasoning combination, the brine combination, it carries a, I mean, this is absolutely fantastic.
It is super good.
This beats orzo con pollo
We're not even supposed to be eating rice, honey.
out of the park. Oh, you got your own fork. Yeah, they tell me. Yeah.
We shouldn't eat after each other.
Well, they say a lot of things. You should always get the first bite. You should never have to ask for a bite. I'm like, she's holding the camera. It is so dang good.
It is. It is.
Just another way to incorporate
very good.
A great idea to your griddle repertoire. Don't forget, we'll have the recipe on theflattopking.com. You can check that out. Along with all the other recipes. If you guys are interested, we have a join button down below with the membership program. We thank each and every one of you for taking time for doing so. Check us out on the Griddle Group on Facebook. We talk about griddles, talk about smokers, talk about brisket, talk about Mexican fried rice, but let's talk about it. And that's where somebody contacted me and said, you've got to make this chicken. I'm so glad we did. I hope they see this. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to press that subscribe button, pound the notification button, share with your friends.
Dang, it's good, baby. It really is a full meal, too. There's a lot of chicken in there.
It's one of the very few times I've eaten Mexican food and haven't even thought about a tortilla.